Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Farm Term Chic, where I do DIY inspiration on a budget. Today I'm going to do a couple of Valentine crafts. I'm just going to take this, I had an old wreath that I had on my Christmas tree from Dollar Tree that I went ahead and took all of it was kind of falling apart. So I took all the florals and twine off of it. Then I just went ahead and cut up an old garland that I had with these beads on there and just strung them on there. I think you could easily use twine or even some just kind of wire, pipe cleaner maybe. I just glued the top to secure it. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the jute twine and wrap it around my finger 4 or 5 times, however many you want. I like a little bit of a thicker twine bow on there. So I'm going to pinch it in the middle, and then I just take another piece of twine. And what I'm going to do is wrap it around this right in the middle. So it's going to close it off to make the bow. And then I tie that piece of twine in the back. So this is a great way to fake like a shoestring bow. And then after you tie that piece of twine in the back, you're just going to trim off the ends of that so that way you can't see them. So it makes a really fun, cute little bow to add to the top. You could easily leave it like this with just the twine and the beads. Would be super cute just for every day. Of course, I'm going to make this a little bit more Valentine's themed. I need to up my game in the Valentine's decoration game because I feel like I don't have a lot. So, and my kids love it when I decorate for the different holidays, but I don't usually go overboard for Valentine's. So, but I'm sure, especially this year, my kids just would love anything to make life a little bit more happy, right? So, as you can see, I put the glue on the bow and it didn't stick super well, so I'm just going to put the glue onto the beads directly. Now, I do want to take just a moment and let you know that I'm participating today in Heidi Sonboul's DIY Valentine Challenge. The playlist will be linked below in the description box, so definitely check that out. And so that way you can see all of the other fun crafters and DIYers, all of their Valentine inspiration, and hopefully that will help you get a little bit more inspiration to make your Valentine decorations. So off of one of the Dollar Tree little door hangers, I think it was, they had these darling little bells that were shaped like hearts. So I just took one of the red ones and one of the white ones. I also strung a little bit of the little berries around, the berry garland around it to add a little bit more red. So, and then, so what happened here was I took the bow off to tie those on. So maybe tie these on, because I didn't realize that I was going to put the bells on until the end. And so I tied the bells on, and then I glued the bow on. So if you do it in this. And then I just think that turned out so cute. Just you could hang it somewhere. You could just have it like on a little tiered tray. I just think it's super fun for Valentine's. And, you know, you can, with doing these beads in this way, you can decorate it for really any holiday. So for this next DIY, I'm going to do this arrow from Dollar Tree, and I ordered these half beads off of Amazon, and they're so fun to play around with. So I want to make sure that I get them level, so I go ahead and draw a line on there so that way I have something to use as reference, and I'm painting over it so you're not going to see this line at all. So I'm going to use some E6000 and some hot glue on these big beads. I just didn't want them popping off, I guess. So that's why I used both types of glue. The hot glue, of course, is for the short-term hold. E6000 is for the long-term hold. I then take these wooden sticks and I want to make some trim on the back. And so I just lay them down, trace where I want to cut them. And I do a couple shorter ones, skinnier ones, I should say, and then the thicker ones, and then I just glue those on with some E6000 and hot glue. And then I want to put some little half beads on the back and the front, so I just line those up. On these little half beads, I do not use E6000. I just use a little dot of hot glue. It was too hard to do the E6000 and not get it all over my hands. So, but I think so far this has held up really well, so I think it's going to be fine with just the hot glue on these little beads. So after I get them all fixed on there, I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And I just use my Waverly chalk paint. I think plaster is the color that I have right now. Any white paint that you have will be great. As you know, chalk paint is awesome. This is where I decided to cut this little thing off. I should have done that well before this point. But with chalk paint, it's awesome because it dries so fast. That is one of the big benefits of using chalk paint. So I go ahead and do 2 or 3 coats, enough to just get it completely covered in white. I just want it just totally like look like paint was like slapped on it, like really thick chip, because I want it to be chippy by the end. So I just go in between the beads with a little brush. After I get all my coats of paint, I sand it really good. I just want to make sure that all the corners, all the edges, everything is very, very distressed. And it's so fun with these beads when you start sanding them, because there's so many different surfaces that show the distressing. And then I just take a baby wipe and wipe it down and just kind of just get all the little bits off from sanding. And then I'm going to take my antique wax and I just kind of rub it off my brush, and then I rub this all over, get in between everything, and then I wipe it off with a baby wipe so that way it's in all the edges. And then I do this and wipe it off a couple of times. And then the last time I put the antique wax on, I don't wipe it off. I kind of go thicker around the edges where I want it to look more chippy. I just wanted this to look super distressed, super farmhouse, something that, I don't know, this is my style. If it's not your style to distress it this much, then obviously don't do that. You do you. This is just something that I wanted it to be, the style I wanted, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I'm so happy with how this ended up turning out. And of course you can go through and distress it as much as you want, as little as you want. I really feel like this is something that you could use all year. Like, it's not something just for Valentine's. I just thought it was cute for Valentine's because, you know, with Cupid and the arrows and stuff, I thought it was kind of a fun little subtle Valentine. But didn't it turn out so cute? I absolutely love this. I'm so happy with it. So this next one is super simple, super easy. I took this Christmas ornament from Dollar Tree, and I just took this the Christmas tree is literally just hot glued on there. So you just pull it off, just kind of peel off the glue. So, and then I just take these felt hearts. Now they do have a sticker on the back of them. I recommend not taking the sticker off of the back of them. So I just kind of place them in there and hot glue them where I want. I wanted to put the red and the pink, not the red and the pink, the white and the pink next to the red truck, since the truck was red, kind of not have red touching the truck if I could help it. Kind of to have it offset a little bit. So I glue a couple big ones on there, and then I just go down to the next size. And here I decide, let's peel the back off. That's a good idea. I don't feel like I would do that again. So I stick it in there. It is very sticky on the back, you guys. So, and then I decide the next one, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take the back off of all of these. No, it stuck to the table. It stuck to everything. It bent over. So don't do it. So here, no, don't do it. So then I just go ahead and continue gluing these on. And eventually on that one, I did take the back on. I had to stick another one behind it because it was sticking to everything. So this is so fun. I've seen a lot of people do fun things with red trucks carrying the hearts for Valentine's, and I think the red trucks are so cute. See there, I stick that white one behind. Okay, now watch what I do. I don't cut this off. You just bend it back and ta-da! It just stands. So it just stands up on your tray like that. You don't have to glue a Jenga block onto the back. I just loved how easy this was. It took literally 3 minutes to make. It was so fun. So for this last one, this is not necessarily Valentine's. However, I love succulents, so I'm going to make it work. So what I do is I'm taking this wood box from Dollar Tree, and all of these succulents come either from Dollar Tree or I ordered a batch of them off Amazon. And the Amazon pricing ended up to be maybe like $1.30 to $1.40 per succulent. So I felt like that was a pretty good deal, and the quality was amazing. However, since I've made this video and been to Dollar Tree, they now have a lot of these succulents I use from Amazon. So you could probably just find them at Dollar Tree. So I just take some antique wax and I watered it down more to make a stain, and I paint it on. And then I just take a baby wipe and wipe it off. There's several ways that you can make this look like stain. So if you have a way that you prefer, just do that. But this way it lets the wood grain kind of show through. So I do that all over, and then I just take some styrofoam, floral foam, whatever you've got, and I just hot glue that into the bottom so it's not going to go anywhere. And then the fun part, for me anyways, was getting all the succulents in here. I just thought this was so fun. So I take them all out of their little pots, get them all there, and then you just play around, and just what feels good to you will probably look fine. You do want to maybe have some wire cutters to cut them down because that box is a little bit shallower than a lot of the backs on them. But you can see I just trim these down and I just stick them in, and some of them I end up not liking. I take them out, move them around, whatever works for you. These tall ones I'm sticking in right now, those particular ones are from Amazon. However, Dollar Tree now has ones that look like those. They're so cute. I just want to take a minute and let you guys know that if you like what you're seeing today and you would love to support me, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I'm just starting out on this journey, and we had COVID hit our house at the end of, just before Christmas, and I had so many Christmas videos that I didn't even get uploaded, and I feel like it's too late now, so maybe Christmas in July. So I feel like I kind of lost my momentum a little bit. So if you want to take a minute to like this video and to subscribe, it would literally make my heart sing with happiness. I would really appreciate it. So you can see I just kind of play around. Some I stick in and I'm like, I don't like where that is. I mean, you just play around. To me, this is so much fun. And I went on Pottery Barn and looked at some of their succulents, and oh my gosh, they are so expensive. So this one was probably, when you consider the price for all the succulents, I mean, I'm probably between $15 and $20 in this, but literally we're talking over $100, up to $300 on Pottery Barn, depending on the style and the size that you choose. And this is something that I will have out from now until probably I decorate for fall. And maybe even then I'll still leave it out because I love succulents. And don't be afraid, like this bigger one right here, don't be afraid to cut them down and just use little pieces where you think you need them. So, and then you just look around, see if you can see holes in the styrofoam that if you can see them, then you want to go ahead and just kind of fill that in. And so I'm looking at it, I'm absolutely in love with it at this point, and I pick it up, guys, to look at it, and I'm like, oh wait, you can see the styrofoam through the stars. Did not even dawn on me until I picked it up. So if you do this, fill your stars in first. So what I did is I just took some of the wooden sticks from Walmart or Dollar Tree and did the same staining on them as the wood, and then I just cut them to size and slipped them down in there. I had to use like 2 on each side, if that makes sense, because the star's just big enough that you can't slide one down there. That was a little bit annoying, but that's okay. So you can kind of see my sticks there. I just cut them down so they'll slide right down in, put a little bit of hot glue. I slide it down in there and cover it up, and I do that with both of them so that way the full star is covered. And honestly, it looks actually really good. It looks just like, because the wood grain's going a different way, it just looks like a wooden slat in there. And then you just stick back in. So fun. And it turned out totally fine. So I will try and leave a link to the Amazon succulents that I used as well. I feel like their succulents is awesome. And very well worth the price. Very well made. I love how this turned out. I don't know. And I have it on a shelf right now where the little pearl succulents is hanging down. But I think it looks good like this too, just kind of sitting there. So here's everything that I did today, you guys. I'm so excited for Valentine's Day and to make so many more DIY crafts for you. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button, like this video, help me out. Also, if you're a DIYer, leave me a comment and leave me your channel. I love to check out other DIYers for inspiration and would love to see what everybody else is doing. And if you guys like to watch the DIY videos and you haven't heard of the Heidi Sonboul DIY challenge, check that link below in the description box and get some inspiration and get crafting. It's so much fun. Thank you guys so much for joining in with me today. And I hope that you come back and watch my next video. Thanks so much.